Are you a Taurus? Or maybe someone you know is? If so, welcome. This is a video where I will be talking about the Taurus zodiac sign, its characteristics, as well as the famous personalities and celebrities who represent this zodiac sign. Hello, my name is Elena. I am a professional Vedic astrologer. In my channel, I talk a lot about astrology, zodiac signs, predictions, celebrity birth charts. So if you're into this sort of thing, be sure to subscribe to my channel. This video is part of a Zodiac Signs Explained series where I talk about each zodiac sign in detail, and I explain its core features, qualities, and characteristics, as well as give examples of the celebrities who we all know who really exemplify the energy of each of these zodiac signs. Since this is the second video in the series, we're talking about none other than Taurus. Before we get started, I would like to remind you that I am a Vedic astrologer, which means that all of the zodiac sign placements that I am using in the video are based on the sidereal zodiac, which is different to the tropical zodiac used by the popular Western astrology. So if you're using that, just take note that there will be differences to what you might see with your charts. I do have a video talking about the differences between Western and Vedic astrology if you're new here, so be sure to check it out to learn more about these differences. Now, also, as a Vedic astrologer, I will recommend to apply zodiac sign descriptions, characteristics, forecasts, videos to your rising and new moon sign before your sun sign. And in my video about these big three placements of astrology, I talk specifically about why the moon sign and the rising sign are so important, so be sure to check that out as well. Now, let's get started talking about Taurus qualities and characteristics. And this is something that might apply to you if one or more of your big three placements is in Taurus, or if you have 3 or more planets in Taurus in your birth chart. Taurus is a fixed earth sign, and this gives us several clues about some of its qualities. First of all, the fixed quality of the sign means that this is a sign that prefers stability and is averse to change. Also, since Taurus is an earth sign, with earth being the element that is most averse to change and that is most stable, we can confidently say that Taurus is the most stable sign of the zodiac. Stability is of paramount importance to Taurus, and it's also the first keyword that should be associated with this sign. Because Taurus natives crave stability so much in their lives, they don't like change. They typically resist it, and it's very hard for them to adapt to new circumstances. Because of this, security and confidence in their future, in their tomorrow, is also very important to them. And with this comes the second key characteristic and keyword for Taurus, which is finance. Having money, managing money effectively, making sure that they have savings is something that is really, really important to Taurus, because to them, stability and security goes hand in hand with money, as it does for a lot of people. One of the interesting parallels here is that Taurus is also loosely associated with the second house of the birth chart, and one of its meanings is resources, finance, and money. Specifically, money that is associated with net worth, capital, family money, and savings. Taurus natives are typically quite talented at managing their money, and that is also something which can be a big priority in their life. They also tend to do rather well in careers that are related to money management, finance, bookkeeping, accounting, wealth management, you name it. And we will see an example of that when we get to the celebrity examples portion of this video. With stability and security being such a core theme for Taurus, they definitely cannot be classified as risk takers. And typically, before they take an action, they need time to think and evaluate things. You know the saying, slow and steady wins the race? This can definitely be applied to Taurus, because slow and steady they are. If you're dealing with a person with a moon in Taurus, you might notice that they're not in a rush to get places. They're very relaxed, comfortable. It's definitely hard to classify them as ambitious, and it also might even take them a little bit longer just to process information and to think. The reason for that is not only that earth element in itself is the slowest out of all, but also because moon is the strongest in Taurus. And with moon representing our mind, this shows the mind that is very much at peace with what is going on. It's not a mind that is troubled by the promise of tomorrow, by ambition, by something happening around them. They're really just very content where they are. And for that reason, their mind is simply not wired to rush, to get to the next place, to arrive at the next idea, and to jump into a new adventure. I should say that Taurus natives are very reliable, and if you're working with somebody who has one of their big three in Taurus, typically you can rely on them to get what you need them to do done. It's just that it likely will take them some time, and they won't be the fastest while they work on something. Taurus is a sign ruled by Venus, essential planet of love, pleasure, art, and beauty. And this gives us several important clues into Taurus's characteristics. Like Venus, Taurus people are very sensual, meaning they have excellent contact with their senses, in particular, the sight, the taste, and the touch. This is the zodiac sign that is most likely to romanticize life. They have taste for things, literally and figuratively. Typically, Taurus natives are foodies. They like their food, they like to cook it too, and they're usually pretty good at it. But their taste also expands into other areas of their life. They're usually clothed very tastefully. Their home is very tasteful. And just in general, it's important for them that their life, their environment is tasteful, and there's place for beauty, pleasure, and aesthetics in it. Through sight, they have an eye for beauty. Taurus natives are just effortlessly very stylish, not because they follow trends or they want to follow the latest in fashion, but because they can choose their outfit pieces or their makeup or their home environment or really anything that they arrange in their life with this innate understanding of taste and beauty. For this reason, because they're wired to see beauty, they typically can make very good designers or excel in careers where a sense of aesthetics and beauty is important to succeed. Tauruses are also very reactive to touch. They're very grounded and they have an excellent contact of their body and its needs, which is why a lot of them will enjoy spa treatments, massages, gentle stretches, and other forms of sensual pleasure, if you know what I mean. Taurus people enjoy intimacy and they crave closeness. And in general, physical comfort for their body is something that is really important to them. Taurus natives have a creative aspect, but it's different to that of an Aries or a Leo, for example. For the fire signs, the deeper need is to express themselves, and that is where their artistic nature comes from. For Taurus, it comes from this need and desire to see more beauty in the world surrounding them, and that is why they typically take a hand in creating it. Taurus natives are typically good with people. They invest time in their friendships and relationships, and if you think about it, with Venus being the planet of love and relationships, it makes sense why this aspect of life is so important to the Taurus natives. You won't usually find them in a position where they take the lead in relationships. Instead, they like to be a more passive, supportive, even following party. And that is because the nature of the sign is so highly feminine, with both Moon and Venus being in strength in the sign of Taurus. It's typically important for Taurus natives to be in relationships, to have friendships, and be surrounded by people because they truly shine in contact. They are very charismatic and pleasant to be around, which normally means that they have an abundance of relationships and friendships in their life. Every zodiac sign has a darker side, and Taurus is no exception. Their need for security and financial stability often has them walking a fine line next to greed and possessiveness. My and mine are two words that strike a very deep chord in Taurus's soul because it's important for them to own, even possess the items that are very near and dear to them. They can be possessive in relationships as well because they really have this need to ensure that something that is near and dear to them won't disappear on them in the near future or ever. Another dangerous extreme that Taurus natives can gravitate to is overconsumption, and this can manifest quite literally like overeating, obesity, and extra weight, or more figuratively where they really overindulge in things that ensnare their senses like food, drink, sex, and substance. Before we move on to celebrity examples of Taurus, let's summarize the keywords applicable to Taurus here: stability, finance, slow and steady, sensual, taste, comfort, charisma, and possession. And if you are a Taurus and this doesn't sound exactly very familiar to you, that's okay, What this probably means is that you have a more dominant zodiac sign energy in your chart. I have a video in my Astrology for Beginners playlist that explains how to build a read a birth chart, so you're welcome to check it out to get a full picture of your own chart. Let's move on to celebrity examples. Exhibit A, Robert Pattinson. If you're a millennial or you lived through the 2000s, chances are you know Robert Pattinson for his stellar performance in the Twilight Saga as Edward Cullen. Pattinson started his career as a model, but then he really became very popular in acting after his role in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire film, after which he was cast in a very impressive round of films, including the Twilight Saga, Water for Elephants, Remember Me, and of course the critically acclaimed Batman series. Just this year, we're going to see Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, with Pattinson being one of the stars in there, as well as the new Dune movie. But Pattinson isn't just an actor and a model. He's also a talented singer-songwriter, so much so that some of his songs were featured as the official soundtrack of the first Twilight movie. What makes him such an exemplary Taurus is his artistic sensibility, his incredible charm and charisma, and even the characters he plays. The reliable, deeply sensual, magnetic, brooding protagonist who is often the main male protagonist or love interest. He brings this classic Taurus energy of stability mixed with quiet power that isn't trying too hard. And that is precisely what audiences obsess over. Let's look at his chart for a minute. Kind reminder that this is a Vedic astrology channel, which means I'm using a sidereal zodiac, and the chart style and placements might look different than what you're used to seeing if you're using popular Western astrology. This is a Taurus rising chart with Venus, the ruler of Taurus, placed in Taurus in the first house. And this alone lands Robert Pattinson firmly into the Taurus tribe. Let's move on to the next celebrity example for Taurus, Pierre Balmain. Taurus zodiac sign is strongly connected to beauty, luxury, quality, and exquisite taste, and no one embodied it better than the French couture designers like Pierre Balmain. He founded his fashion house in 1945, just after World War II. At that time, the Paris fashion was dominated by these utilitarian, economic, and even masculine outfits that women were wearing. And the society was really hungry for this style, sophistication, and elegance of a feminine silhouette, which Pierre Balmain, along the likes of Christian Dior and other Parisian couturiers, brought back into fashion. But what Pierre Balmain was specifically known for is the new French style, characterized by the nipped-in waists, rich fabrics, full skirts, and overall a very feminine silhouette. His designs really celebrated beauty, artistry, and craftsmanship, all of which are the hallmarks of the Taurus zodiac sign. He even dressed royalty and the movie stars like Katharine Hepburn, Sophia Loren, and Marlene Dietrich, and became synonymous with the post-war image of elegance and refinement. In his chart here, we see a Cancer rising chart. However, the Taurus zodiac sign is very largely populated by 3 planets, including Venus, which is the ruler of Taurus. If you just landed here, this is a kind reminder that I am reading a Vedic birth chart with sidereal zodiac, which looks different to what you might be used to seeing if you're reading with Western astrology or the tropical zodiac. Now, let's look at a slightly more controversial Taurus personality, Bernie Madoff. If you don't know who he was an American financier, con artist, and the person who pulled off the largest Ponzi scheme in history that caused losses of as high up as $65 billion. We see here a Leo rising chart. However, in the 10th house of career, there are again 3 planets in Taurus, including Venus, the ruler of the sign, meaning this energy is the one that is manifesting most strongly in Bernie's case. Now, Bernie Madoff really took the Taurus zodiac sign energy to the most dangerous extreme it could get. He founded his investment securities firm in 1960, and over the decades, he has built a sterling reputation on Wall Street. He served as the chairman of the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, and he earned his trust through offering steady and reliable returns to his clients. In reality, he was running the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. He paid returns to earlier investors using the money he got in from the new investors. In this way, creating the illusion of consistent profit. By the time that the Ponzi scheme collapsed in December of 2008, his fraud had grown up to $65 billion. Madoff used the stolen funds to finance his extravagant lifestyle. He owned multiple oceanfront mansions, private jets, yachts, and had access to some of the most exclusive country clubs. The scheme devastated thousands of victims, of which there were charities, Holocaust survivors, and even close friends of Bernie Madoff. He was sentenced to 150 years in prison, where he died in 2021. This is where I should also say that not every Taurus turns Bernie Madoff. So if you found several Taurus placements in your chart, don't get too alarmed. There's a lot more that goes into the makings of somebody like Bernie Madoff, and poor life choices is definitely the key component into ending up being what he was. Before we close up, let's also look into a few honorable Taurus mentions. Adriana Lima, a world-famous supermodel. She was really popular in 2000s. She is a Scorpio rising, but she has several notable placements in Taurus. John Kennedy, or JFK, a former American president. He came from immense generational wealth and also had this mixed image of financial privilege and progressive economic vision. His is a Virgo rising chart, but several important placements, including Venus, are in Taurus. Mindy Kaling, American actress and TV personality. She is most known for her role as Kelly on the US version of The Office. And much like Kelly, Mindy's character is very girly, bubbly, and charismatic. We see here a Taurus rising with Venus placed in the first house. Conrad Hilton Jr., American socialite and heir to the Hilton Hotel empire. He was notoriously known for his lavish lifestyle and his marriage to Elizabeth Taylor. His is a Taurus rising chart with Moon and Venus placed in the first house. Hannah French, an American-Irish novelist, most notably known for her crime novels, including In the Woods. Her writing style is described as slow, suspenseful, intentional, and deliberate. Hers is a Taurus rising chart with Saturn and Venus placed in the first house. Thank you for watching. This concludes the look into the Taurus zodiac sign. If you like this video, or if you're looking forward to hearing about your zodiac sign, be sure to subscribe to my channel not to miss new videos.